This happened last night. I am a recent college grad, and I am currently gearing up to move out of state. I grew up in Michigan my whole life, and everyone I know is around here. Now, I am on my way to New York, so I decided to have a bunch of people, about 12, over last night to have some drinks, play a few games, and enjoy each other one last time before I potentially leave forever. After a few drinks, everyone is hungry. I'm not quite up for cooking dinner, so I decide to order pizza for everyone. This should have been where my mind kicked into gear and I noticed something wrong. One large pizza from Pizza Hut is going to cost $20. That's an absurd price surge. I generally don't pay more than $15, but I figure I haven't ordered pizza at home in about 3 months, so I just assume I missed some big Pizza Hut drama that caused prices to change and continue forward. I proceed to put together an order of about 5 pizzas to feed the hungry masses in my living room. And I put in my credit card info so that I can pay online. The order goes through. I get a confirmation email. I glance at it for a second just to note that I did, in fact, put in an order. And then I put my phone away without much thought. Flash forward 45 minutes. A call comes through from a number with a weird area code. He says, "This is Jim from Pizza Hut. I'm here with your pizza. I need you to come downstairs. They don't let us in the building." This is weird because there's no one keeping the guy from coming into the apartment building. And we only have 1 floor. But I'm about 5 drinks in at this point and not entirely worried about a strange turn of phrase. After all, I'm the drunk one. So I slip on my shoes and head outside for a minute. No one is outside. That's fine. Pizza guys sometimes call a few minutes before they get there, just because it's a college town. And it's almost certain that he's delivering to some drunk asshole who needs 5 minutes to find the money he stashed under his weed or whatever. I tap my foot and wait. And wait. And wait. And no one is coming. I pull up my phone and check the confirmation email. Something catches my eye. About a month prior, I was attending a conference related to my major in Indianapolis, and about 10 students from my program gathered in my hotel room for a similar party. I ordered pizza then too, and I apparently set my default Pizza Hut to a new address, the JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I call my driver frantically. "Hey, I think I had that order wrong. Are you in Indianapolis?" "I'm just a few streets over. Did we give you the wrong pizza?" "I'm in a different state. I delivered your pizza 3 minutes ago." In no mental state to deal with this, I ask him to cancel the order. He says okay and hangs up. I eventually get the pizza reordered and everything is looking fine. We get the delivery and have a great night. This morning, I wake up and find that my bank account is $230 short of what it was yesterday. I spent about $80 the night prior, so something was definitely amiss. I want to clarify, I don't blame the delivery guy for this. He did exactly what I would have done and went straight back to the Pizza Hut and let the charges go through, including a $50 tip that I wrote in. After all, he delivered the pizza and some drunk asshole calls immediately after and asks him to cancel the order. Fuck that, that's not even a good scam. I called this morning to get the details sorted out. Having worked at a Pizza Hut and knowing the corporate policies, I'm certain they will eat the loss and help me out since I can very clearly prove that I was in Kalamazoo that night. I bought from a liquor store less than an hour before ordering that pizza. But until then, I have about $150 extra in charges, which I kind of needed to pay my utilities bill. Oops. Aside from this girl turning out to be a bitch and a total waste of travel expenses, which I'm not going to get into, this is the worst experience I've had up to this point in my life. Again, I don't want to get too detailed about my trip since it ended up sucking donkey dick. I'll start by saying I flew into Albuquerque, New Mexico, to stay the weekend with a girl in a hotel. We decided we wanted to wake and bake one day and go swimming in the hotel pool. After a hilarious hotboxing, we proceeded to jump in the hot tub for what felt like a steamy eternity. Eventually we realized that it was getting too hot, so we jumped in the much cooler pool. Things were pretty casual, and we're both doing half-drowned laps around the pool. At this point, I decided to go underwater without plugging my nose. Now, if you can imagine what a nose full of chlorine feels like for sober you, you can probably tell stoned you would absolutely hate a nose full of chlorine. I quickly re-emerge and jump upwards into the air, and do a quick, forceful sneeze, at which point my shoulder dislocates. I know what you're thinking. A sneeze? Ha! Well, I'll have you know I have a record of dislocating this shoulder. It's not my first time. It's my 7th time to be exact. Anyways, I let this girl know it's out of place and tell her it's no big deal. My shoulder always pops back in within 15 seconds or so. I'm alright. Even stoned me isn't paranoid. Well, 15 seconds go by and nothing. It's not even moving. My arm is just stuck at a 90-degree angle to my torso. Thank God I had the pull to help support my arm. 30 seconds. Nothing. At this point I'm getting worried because my arm has never been stuck in this position, and especially not for this long. I eventually asked her to go see if one of the hotel staff is at least a tiny bit medically licensed. She seems to be taking her sweet time getting out of the pool and finding someone, while I'm trying to force my arm back in its socket. Every time I move, I feel a jolt of pain, and every time it reverts back to where it was, I get an even bigger jolt of pain. I'm stoned, half naked in a pool, cursing at the universe for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, she comes back with who I believe was the manager. She said she is going through early medical school but had no official training. She was telling me that we had to yank my fucking arm. There's no fucking way I'm about to let some unqualified hotel manager yank my arm, especially when I'm stoned. I didn't completely rule the yanking out though. I then proceeded to grab the rail that leads out of the pool and slowly pull my body away from my dislocated arm. After about 5 minutes of slow, painful agony, I get my arm back in. At this point, my head is spinning and my stomach feels completely nauseous. I sit down in a pool chair while my lady friend is drying me off. At one point, and one that I feel like it lasted an eternity, I start to see double. I'm hunched over and I can't so much as move an inch without wanting to vomit. I have my head leaning on her, what I think was her breast, and my mouth over the pool trash can she brought me. It got so bad that I was telling her to get an ambulance. I could not for the life of me think straight or move at all. While she was talking to the 911 operator, I began to throw up what I can only remember as an orange acidic bile. It just kept coming. My shoulder throbbed each time I lurched forward to vomit, and my head kept spinning. After I'd vomited my entire breakfast, I felt good enough to be able to tell her to cancel the ambulance. Shortly after, she helped me get my shoes on, and helped me walk to the car so we could get to an ER, and make sure my arm wasn't suffering from nerve damage. Now you have to remember, I was still about a 4 out of 10 on high level. When I spotted a Starbucks in the distance, all I could think about was getting some coffee to wake me up, and a delicious chocolate croissant to replace the orange liquid that I had just thrown up. When I brought it up, she looked at me like I was crazy, like, are you seriously getting the munchies now, of all times? She was kind enough to agree to my request, and we sat in line for about 10 minutes before proceeding to the ER. A few naps and x-rays later, I left the hospital with a few stretched ligaments and muscles. After this, I did what any sane person would do and slept for the rest of the day. My romantic getaway might not have been too romantic, but it was definitely entertaining. Last October, I went to my friend's wedding out of town. He's an old buddy of mine from college, and he invited our college group of friends. For the reception, he had a toonie bar, Canadian $2 coin, which was great. All I had to do was bring a 20 and I'd be good. What I didn't anticipate was that members of the wedding party were given free drink tickets that they could use or distribute as they pleased. Come the end of the party, I had powered through the 10 drinks my $20 bill could provide. My friend reached into his pocket and discovered that he still had lots of tickets, so he declared that we would all be taking shots. I was just at that level of drunk where I was down for anything, foolishly. So we all did shots, and I knocked over a vase of water all down the side of the bar. Oops. But that's not the fuck up. After one more shot each, we piled into the back of our designated driver's SUV and headed back to the hotel. The plan was to go to our rooms and freshen up, then meet back in the lobby to go find some greasy drunk food. I can recall getting to the parking lot and drunkenly stumbling up to the front doors of the hotel, and then... blink. Suddenly I wake up. It's dark, but I can tell that I'm sitting in a hotel room on a fully made bed. I'm sitting with my back against the headboard, and I'm still wearing my dress pants and undershirt. I didn't have my glasses or shoes, and I have to piss really bad. I sit for a moment, confused. Something seems... off. I don't see my fiancée immediately, but it's dark, so that doesn't surprise me. I get up and start moving to the bathroom. The room seems wobbly and my stomach is turning, and there's a dull ache at the base of my skull that reminds me, you're going to be hungover as fuck in a few hours. I get to the bathroom and turn on the blindingly bright hotel light. As fast as I can whip it out and start doing my business. As I'm standing there for what feels like forever, it hits me. This bathroom is reversed from what I remember. As I think about it more, I realize that the whole room was reversed. I think I must have passed out in one of my college buddies' rooms. I finish up and rinse my hands. I open the bathroom door and there is a man, about my age, standing at the door who I have never seen before in my life. He has a very serious look on his face and, without skipping a beat, he says, "You need to get the hell out, now." Confused, I just say, "What?" "Now, I need you to leave, right now. Get out, get out." He shuffles me out of the room and slams the door shut. So now I'm standing in the hallway, hungover, still drunk. Without shoes or glasses, completely lost. It occurs to me at this point that I can't recall what my room number is. But I do realize that I'm on the wrong floor. I walk down to the lobby because I don't have my key card, and explain to the receptionist that I lost my key. Luckily, I have my wallet on me, so this is not a problem. When I get back to the room, I find my fiancée passed out on a made bed. We both went pretty hard. When I wake her up to try and find answers, we're both pretty drunk. Still. And when I explain what just happened to me, she loses it. She says that at some point I disappeared, then accuses me of probably cheating on her while I was in that room. Why else would I wake up in a stranger's room? This immediately devolves into a wicked argument, and we drunkenly hurl insults at each other, before finally falling asleep. Me, on the little shitty hotel couch, and her in the bed. When we wake up, we realize that we were being stupid and drunk, and we apologize to each other for fighting. We talk more, and I discover absolutely nothing. She doesn't quite remember when I disappeared. We meet up with the rest of the gang for breakfast, and I tell them all this story. Nobody can give me any answers, and the general consensus is that I disappeared at some point, and that's it. We don't think it was someone that was at the wedding because nobody said anything to my friend about that night. To this day, I can only speculate what happened. My best theory is that I got so drunk, I wandered off and started banging on a random person's door, thinking it was my room. When they answered, I must have barged in and set up shop on the bed and passed out. When I pass out drunk, I become an immovable statue. This person must have been really uncomfortable, but apparently was nice enough not to call security or the cops. He waited for me to finally wake up and pounced on the opportunity to kick me out. If you guys have any theories, I'd love to hear them. And that's how I fucked up. Sorry, random guy. Thanks for letting me off easy. Edit. My glasses and shoes were found back in my room, which means that I got back to the room, took off my dress shirt and glasses and shoes, and then wandered off. Hey everyone, Hellfreezer here. Well, this is a bit different. Today I fucked up, TIFU. That's the name of the subreddit these stories come from. I'll link to the actual stories down in the description, so you can go and read along if you like, and you can check out others on that subreddit. I'm not sure how regular a thing this is going to be, but if it proves popular, I'll certainly look into making it an occasional series. Certainly not a regular thing. Massive thanks goes to the kind folks who, on very short notice, allowed me to use these stories, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing for Saturday, up until, well, a few hours ago, really, when I sent out the messages, and they got back to me pretty quickly, so that was great of them. As we proceed on with the channel, I'll look into trying out other things and seeing what works and what doesn't. Okay, so, until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.